What's going on, everyone? It's Bob with Cinephellas. This is episode number 127, and this is my interview with Quinn Lord from the movie Ike Boys that premiered at Fantastic Fest in Austin, Texas. If the name Austin Lord doesn't ring any bells, but it sounds kind of familiar, he also played Sam in the cult Halloween movie Trick or Treat. Sit back and enjoy. Hey, Quinn, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I can't complain, it's nice and sunny out, so life's pretty good. So,
Yeah.
First off, I have to start all this by saying I'm a huge fan. Trick or Treat's honestly one of my favorite movies, so it's kind of cool to talk to someone from that film. And my boys both love the Space Buds and Super Pups and all that stuff as well.
Oh my, you really are.
Yeah, so my boys have drawn so many Sam things. It's in my basement now amongst all my other horror movie stuff. I have quite a few drawings of your character on one of my shelves. They just really like it.
You're becoming one with the cult following and building your own Sam shrine. Yes.
Yeah. The amount of stuff I have is insane, but not here to talk about that, although believe me, I could talk to you for hours about it. So I got to watch Ike Boys the other day, and I actually had my 8-year-old sit down and watch it with me. He loves anything with kaijus or anything like that, so he was enthralled from the very beginning.
Awesome.
Now, are you a fan of manga or anime or anything like that?
I grew up with Transformers and Robotech when I was younger, and a little bit of Pokemon, the series. So I definitely had some bias as to, I had some bias to the mecha side of things, and luckily I was cast as the one who transforms into a mecha. So that was some fun there.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
thinking about sort of picking up watching anime sometime in the near future as well. So.
I gotta say, you definitely acted, I gotta ask, so, I mean, when you had the things on your arms and it's lifting you up and flying, I thought it was funny, actually, your interactions and the way you maneuvered everything. What was that filming like where you were trying to adjust everything to make it look, because, I mean, you were playing it really well.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, the arms or the arm pieces were actually relatively light, but they were really bulky. So whenever I was trying to like walk through a doorway or something, I had to make sure my elbows were clear. Otherwise, I'd clip the doorway, and I have to check if there was like a scrape or something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just in the era of watching Iron Man do it and everything like that, it was kind of refreshing to see almost the practical effects with it. Where what would it look like right now, I thought that was really cool. I'm not going to lie, the action, everything like that. Now, also, your character speaks Japanese in the film. Is that something you're fluent in, or you brushed up really good before the filming?
I am not really fluent in Japanese, but also the character wasn't supposed to speak the most perfect Japanese, so it kind of worked in my favor. But I did take a few phrases away from filming. One is probably one of the naughty things to say in the film, seeing as it is mostly family friendly. A couple of times my character says this phrase. I'll leave it to speculation. What one I remember.
It would definitely make for a good T-shirt.
Oh yeah. But it was a lot of joy to film, and I really enjoyed the challenge of figuring out the Japanese words. I sort of memorized them syllable by syllable, and it was kind of really tough, like a really big challenge to do that. And looking at the finished product, it seems like a job well done. I hit the mark where he doesn't look like he's fluent in Japanese exactly, but it was definitely a cool experience, and I'd like to try, speaking another language on screen again in the future. That would be awesome.
I mean, so we're going back to Space Buddies, yeah, obviously Trick or Treat, everything that, and more of Supernatural, Once Upon a Time. So I mean, you're obviously, this is a new venture. Is there anything else you want to take on? I mean, it doesn't seem like anything is like the other, so it seems like you're constantly evolving as an actor. Is there any genre you want to go to next, or is there any dream project out there?
Well, to be honest, I've sort of been trying to stretch out as far as possible, and right now I'm filming season 2 of the series Firefly Lane. It's on Netflix. So season 1 is filming season 2 up here, which is why I couldn't attend the Texas premiere at Fantastic Fest for Ike Boys. But I've sort of been doing this crossing off different decades off the list. So Firefly Lane, my character is set in the 70s. I'm wearing 70s clothes. I was on the series Man in the High Castle, which is taking place in an alternate 1960s. So I cross off, wearing the 60s clothes. And Ike Boys was the 90s, so, cross off the 90s, leaving the 80s and early 2000s, which I'm looking forward to probably, finding a project that will be set in the 80s or 2000s. And as far as genre-wise, I'm kind of itching to get into like an action role. So 80s action or early 2000s action, that would be absolutely tremendous. I'm getting excited just thinking about it.
Well, I mean, you had 80s action, well, it was 90s action in this, but it kind of was, it reminded me of old 80s movies like that where the karate, all that stuff. So, I mean, maybe you were shaping yourself up right for it. In this movie, you got to act opposed to Billy, across from Billy Zane, and someone is an accomplished actor is in, how much background he had and everything like that. Was there anything you pulled from, or what was it like working amongst such a seasoned vet?
Oh, it was awesome, actually. I really enjoyed, the whole sparring scene with Billy Zane and, learning the choreography for the combat and all that. Alternatively, I also really liked, all the green screen bits. Like, I didn't get to, wear the suit for, the bits where my face is covered. So anytime you see Mecha Sean with the helmet on, that's not me. But I did do all the ADR. And when I was doing the ADR, I saw, the little previews, and I'm like, oh, man, I really want to do that. Some of the stunts here and there. But, yeah, it was really nice working across Billy Zane, and I think I, in passing, was able to say hello to Yumiko. So that was definitely an experience. I'm looking forward to more like it.
No, absolutely. Plus, you and Billy both are in cult classic horror movies. I mean, Billy with the Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, which is just another great one as well. So you mentioned, 80s action, stuff like that. Is there a world where we get to see you appear in a Stranger Things type thing or some sort of sci-fi 80s type thing?
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm technically writing some sci-fi at the moment, but none of it's set in the 80s, or maybe I could change that. But no, I'm just hoping that in the future, I'll be able to become a part of a production that will have that kind of stuff. And until then, I'll probably just continue with season 2 Firefly Lane. Keep putting on the 70s clothes and writing some more sci-fi because I love sci-fi.
Now, you said you're writing. Now, are we talking screenplays? Are we talking novels, short stories?
Screenplays. But yeah, I'm just sort of trying my hand at it. It's not anything official yet, so I'm just sort of having fun writing it and seeing what I come up with.
Well, I mean, it's incredibly ambitious considering how young you are. You've already accomplished so much, and I like the fact that it sounds like you're happy, but you're not satisfied. You want to try more, and you want to stretch yourself out there instead of being comfortable in being comfortable in a regular situation. It seems like you're constantly wanting to find more. You want to constantly stay busy and everything around those lines.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm definitely kind of itching for an action movie though, because that was something I got a little bit of a taste of with another indie film that I filmed down in New Mexico called Dead Man Standing. It was an absolute blast to film it. It was a Western kind of action movie. It was based on a true story. And that was a hell of a lot of fun to film because, like, all the squibs and blanks you're firing out of revolvers, oh my god. An absolute treat to be on set there.
No, there you go. Maybe you don't need to be in a 1980s action movie. You could be in an 1880s action movie. You know, you could be...
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be great. Now, obviously, we had mentioned a couple times in here having cult followings, and this obviously could have a very good one, you know, with a lot of people who love anime and anything around those lines. Now, I know you've worked at conventions and stuff like that. How great is it for people to come up who know your work, and do you have a lot of fun working at conventions?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just waiting for, you know, the pandemic to sort of calm down, and then you can get back to working at conventions just like I used to, you know, because whenever I'd attend a convention before, there'd be a huge, you know, mass of people, and then some people would come up to my table. Sometimes there'd be like a line of about 5. It was this, that, and everything in between. So people would just come up to the table, they'd not recognize who I was, have a nice conversation with them, and then they'd go watch Trick or Treat or something. Or, more often than not, people would just swarm to my table and say, hey, I remember you from Trick or Treat. And I just get to talk to each and every one of them individually and just make their day. And that made my day. It was absolutely amazing. I'm longing to go to another convention.
I'm hoping there's a couple. I believe you've been to Days of the Dead or Flashback weekends. I'm out in Chicago, and I believe you've been to one of those perhaps, and I wasn't able to go. So hopefully we can get done at a convention. I'll be able to come out and meet you.
Oh, yeah. That sounds awesome.
I'll have to bring in my oldest would love to. When I told him who you were on screen, he went, "Oh my gosh!" And he's like, "Do you realize?" He's like, "He's so much bigger. He's so much taller." You know, like it blew his mind totally. So that was a lot of fun.
You could even get him eventually to wear the Sam costume.
Believe me, if I offered it to him, he would jump on it in a heartbeat. He has the sucker. He just got a couple of the figures. Like, he's just as big of a fan as I. He has not seen the movie, but he loves the character. Oh yeah, yeah. Awesome. I can't introduce him to all the fun stuff yet. So it sounds like now you said you couldn't go to the Texas premiere or anything like that, which is obviously a shame. The pandemic's really ruined a lot of these interactions for everybody out there. Now, is there a favorite moment you've had from a premiere at all?
From the premiere?
From any premieres you've done, any?
Oh, yeah. Well, I definitely have to pay homage to the Trick or Treat premieres because it didn't quite get a DVD, or it didn't quite get a theatrical release at first. So the director, Michael Dougherty, sort of took it to a whole bunch of different festivals and got it screened, and then, you know, built up an initial following there. And that was quite the experience to behold. And I'm seeing a little bit of history repeat itself here, at least for, you know, the kind of response that Ike Boys is getting. Kind of reminds me of when I was 7 and Trick or Treat, or actually, no, I was 9 at the time when it premiered, stuff like that. And
well, I remember it being pushed back a couple times. I saw the trailer at a whole theater in Chicago. I forgot what the main attraction was because that preview ruined it for me. Like, I was only looking forward to that one from there on out.
Yeah. But eventually it gained a following, and here it is today.
No, I don't mean to be stuck up on it. I know it's probably... at the end of Ike Boys, though, we have the thing of now I have to write the sequel. Is there a part of you that hopes that there is a sequel and where you can come back and visit Sean, the role of Sean again?
Well, if we're talking about sequels, I would be interested in it on one condition, that I actually am the one inside the suit this time. Or I do more stunts.
You know what? You talk to enough people, I bet you throw that out on Twitter, someone will make you that suit. You could just walk around like grocery shopping in it. I mean, it's already got the mask. The pandemic can wait.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect Halloween costume.
Absolutely. Plus, it lights up. I mean, everyone wants a suit that lights up.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. You know, seeing it in person with like all the lights and everything on it. Like it looks a little bit different than it does on the screen, but not too far different.
It reminded me of the old Super Shredder costume from the Ninja Turtles, the second one, where it had the blades out to the side, the real tall up scoop off the top of the helmet. For some reason, it hit me funny like that. I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Well, here, before I let you go, I have to ask, is there any truth to the Trick or Treat sequel? From your perspective. I don't need you breaking any news or anything like that, but is there a possibility?
The last I heard on it was when I attended I think it was Michael Dougherty's birthday party at one point, where they sort of greenlit the sequel, and that was years ago. But any more kind of development on that, you'd have to ask Mike himself. I mean, I'm definitely hoping for it because look how amazing, or look how big the following has become for the first one, right? So,
it's a modern day classic. It's something that'll be up there that at least I know I watch at least 3 to 4 times a year just because. Actually, I watched it last week. I was working downstairs, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to throw this on. And like, I catch myself sitting down a little more than usual, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, here,
I'm not entirely sure of the whole situation with it, so Mike is probably the best source of information on it for, facts. For me, I know probably about as much as you do, and it's just speculation. But,
I mean, between that, he can always give us more Krampus, too. That was fun, too.
Yeah. That could work. Well, I mean, he did do Godzilla King of the Monsters, so there's something about that.
That's true. See, you need to be appearing in all these movies. He would have killed it in King of Monsters. That would have given you the action movie. Or they could have put you in the suit, and that checks off so many bucket list items for you.
I'll just be the guy with the motion capture suit on, and they do like the tracking for the monster, right?
There you go. So you already see it. It's like Pacific Rim all over, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, I am looking forward to motion capture. So.
Hey, you know what? It'll be fun. So I'll make.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can have everyone put out there for following? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
For me.
Yes.
It would be at Quinn Lord on Instagram, and it should be more or less the same for the other 2 platforms, but the primary one that I use is Instagram, and it sort of filters to the other 2, or not filters, but kind of posts the same thing, or clones the post onto the other 2 platforms. So
well, all right, sounds good. And thank you so much for taking this time to talk to you. I'm sorry if I fanboyed out a little. Like I said, one of my favorite movies of all time, and you don't get to speak to someone who's in something that good. Plus, Ike Boys, like I said, total throwback to old anime, and a little bit of the Godzilla, but anything with kaiju's in it's kind of awesome.
It is. It really is.
All right, so thanks again, Quinn.
Really
thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a good day. Bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
There you have it. As you could tell, I'm kind of a fan of Trick or Treat. So again, that's Ike Boys, and it's streaming now. For all other news and everything like that, stay followed with Cinephellas. As Logan always says, cheers.